Hey guys, it's Guardsman Duke here. I want to have a conversation with you guys about feminism, if you will, because I'm flat out confused here. I used to consider myself something of a feminist. I no longer consider myself that. I consider myself a humanist now, because I believe there's no such thing as a monogendered issue. However, um, with feminism, I thought sexual liberation was one of the big things. How the control and stranglehold of sex as a whole led to problems within, our view of women. How once freeing sex entirely would allow women to be freer. And as far as I know, the sex lib movement was a huge success. Sex is no longer seen as something you're only allowed to have between, husband and wife. I mean, aside from some idiots, but for the most part, I mean, nobody really cares what you do behind closed doors with who you do them with, at least the majority. Now, at the same time, not necessarily okay to go banding out to everyone, what your sexual preferences are or your kinks or anything, because that is considered to be obscene, which is the only acceptable, thing to censor, obscene speech. However, as far as I'm concerned, we recently had a big dust up about feminism that's really making me question you guys now. And this was about Lionshead Studios, the makers of the, um, what's it called again? The Fable series. It's almost 10 years old now. They released a poster from one of the stills called The Foaming Jugs. It was, it was funny. It was just kind of funny. Anyway, as far as I'm concerned with all of that, why was it an issue? There were no nipples showing. It was somewhat sexualized, yes, but I mean, what's your point here? Is sex not allowed? Are we sex negative now? How does sex negative help? I mean, really, like, listen, I love I love looking at a pair of, mostly revealed boobs just like anybody else. I mean, I love appreciating the beauty of the human body, specifically the feminine body. It's great. I love it. I mean, why not? But what I don't get are these people who have to shame it. Like, I mean, it's funny because again, this came up. They lambasted Bayonetta for being sexist. But at the same time, by the same logic, and hear me out on this, they say people like Kratos are a male power fantasy. However, Bayonetta is sexualization and unreasonable standards. And I don't get this argument because I could reverse it. I mean, Bayonetta is a super sexy, super powerful, god-punching female power fantasy. She, does not bow to any man. She beats the shit out of everyone she deals with. And she honestly oozes not only a sex appeal, but just cool factor. Which is okay because it's the same thing Kratos does. Kratos oozes male sex a lot. He's, big, he's buff. I mean, there's several points in time when he satisfies multiple women at once, which, I mean, come on, as a guy, it's a pretty tall order to try to, like, even hope to compare myself to. But that's treated as a power fantasy. Whereas anytime a woman is treated in a powerful way, she is treated as a sex object, which is, in essence, they're the ones objectifying her. They're the ones who are attacking her. And I mean, listen, okay? The reason why there are fewer female characters in games as protagonists, and the reason why people have refused to touch on the subject, and when there is a female character, she's basically a man with, a female body. This is the reason, okay? It's because men and masculine characters are safer to have. Because nobody cares. A man can be a drunken racist. A male can have significant psychological problems. A man can be an interesting character, but a woman can't. You know, if if the woman's got psychological problems, and that's a statement on all women being crazy. If a woman has a moment of weakness, like many male heroes do in their travels, I'm reminded of several characters like Jason Brody from Far Cry 3, who actually spent a significant amount of time getting his ass whooped, having to be saved. Um, there's just this pervasive idea that women, if you make them too strong, they're just men with tits. If you make them too weak, then you're saying women are weak. There's no winning. You can't make a female character without a problem. And that's the issue, because this group bandwagons together and attacks you. And unless we discredit the movement as a whole and replace it with an equality, humanist movement, it's it's destroying any message of progress. So you have that right there. And I guess I can also bring forward another point here about just, all right, feminism, answer me this question, please. What is misogyny? Because, all right, misogyny is very specifically, very explicitly defined. Misogyny is the act of hating women for no purpose other than them being women, right? So if I hate you for a different purpose, which has nothing to do with you being a woman, then I don't see the problem. Does it mean if I dislike you as a person, I'm disliking women because you have no personality other than the fact that you're a woman? I mean, this is hurting women. This is disempowering and damaging them. And it's making people take women less seriously. This is a bad thing. A very bad thing. Now, I've begun to get the idea, right, that the issue these women have with attractive women being shown is that they have personal issues, which lead to them having a problem with these things. And honestly, I don't think Tumblr feminism is feminism at all. I think they've just draped feminism on top of hatred with which to drag the word of feminism through the mud and justify their own hate. They hate they hate other women and female characters for looking better than they do, and they hate men for the most part not sleeping with them, or they hate other women for not sleeping with them because they can't get a date because they're honestly at many times horrible people. And listen, if you are at all neutral but you care about society, you need to take notice. All right? Anyway, guys, this is probably my first video of a couple I'm going to do tonight. As always, leave comments, thoughts, or anything else. If you guys leave enough questions, I will have a Q&A session. Maybe try to do a stream on the Google Plus Hangout, respond to questions in the chat log or something. But I want to have a roundtable discussion here because this is a problem, and this is going to be a greater problem. All right? As always, guys, Ave Imperator, the Emperor protects.